Hello. Welcome to Laura Cain After Dark. Thank you so much for joining us on Instagram Live, on YouTube, whether you're listening later. We have a great show for you tonight.
We do.
We have a very special guest.
We do.
Okay, it is Pride Month.
Yes, it is.
And we therefore have somebody on the show that I can't wait to interview because he has lived a very brave life.
Yes.
He's the first openly gay CHP officer.
Division chief.
Division chief,
Yes.
Division chief is what I was looking for. And he's going to be on to talk. He's already retired at like 50. I need to talk to him about that.
I know. How do we?
Yeah, how? Well, it's too late for us.
Yes,
you got to work like 90 hours a week for like 30 years.
Yeah, I'm going to drop dead at like iHeart.
I'm too far over the mountain.
Anyway, so we're going to talk to him. He's going to be sitting right here. And boy, do I have a lot of questions for him about being a CHP officer. And
Are you going to make things uncomfortable?
No,
thank
not at
goodness.
all. Me? Make things
I know,
uncomfortable?
really.
She probably will.
Oh, by the way,
What?
in an upcoming episode, Marla, she told me the funniest story I think I've.
It's something about her.
Oh, yeah.
Regarding her.
So
is she
that's
willing to
coming
tell
up.
it on
Yes,
the
she is.
podcast?
Yes.
Okay. Bestie number 1 coming soon on the podcast. Featured on my birthday episode, which was awesome.
Yes.
Okay. We also, so get this. On Wednesday, the fair opens, and my new little gig, I call it my baby job, except I work 3 hours a day, 5 days a week in the Kogo newsroom. And I write news for the morning show. I prepare content for them and stuff like that. And I'm going out to the opening morning of the fair at 5:30 in the morning.
Oh.
And I'm going to be doing 2 live hits an hour on
That's
Kogo
awful.
AM 600. No, it's
5
not.
in the
Can
morning.
we agree the fair is no longer interesting?
Hey, it's all.
No, like it's just, there's just not really anything there
I
that's
agree with
that
that.
interesting.
It is. The theme this year is petacular.
Wow.
It's about
What's your
pets.
favorite part of the fair?
My favorite part
Nothing.
of the fair is going through the Jimmy Durante building where they have all the guys that are doing all the displays of knives and cooking stuff, even though I don't cook.
Wait,
and
the multi-level marketing tent
No,
is
not
your
the
favorite.
no.
You would
the
love
shopping.
that.
The shopping.
Yes.
I love
You
the shopping.
would love that.
I'm not a big fan of the rides because I don't like
they're
scary
dangerous.
rides. But there's a bunch of new ones this year, apparently. Look, Brian, listen to me. I'm
Are
trying
mommy
to
and daddy going to fight?
Let's just be positive about this experience and about the fair.
Wait, let me.
The San Diego County Fair.
I am really happy that you got this gig. I think that's
really
awesome.
excited. 2 live hits an hour.
I just think
Brian,
the fair is really boring.
I was like, stop what you're.
What?
He goes, I'm really, really happy that you got this gig. And
I
I'm
know.
all, and
cut. And stop.
but-
And stop right there.
I just find the fair so boring.
No,
I'm
well, okay,
sorry.
that's your opinion.
Fair.
It's
Eric
going to be
agrees with me.
exciting.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to vendors. I'm going to talk to people selling all the food, people that are selling
Why don't you ask the Instagram Live what they think of the fair?
yeah. Ugh.
No, I'm going to only
I think-
positive things.
I think they will like it.
I want you guys to listen to AM 600 Kogo News, Ted and Veronica in the morning because they're going to have me on live.
Yeah,
So
do that instead
Wednesday.
of going to the fair.
No, it's going to be so.
It's just all
it's gonna be
animals
fun.
and food that's actually not that good. And
Oh, I can't eat that deep fried.
I know.
Deep fried butter makes me want to
Okay,
barf.
it's
I
also
remember
so expensive.
when we were Jeff and Jer show, we would have Chicken Charlie
Yes.
on every year, and he
Yeah.
would have a different thing that he would deep fry, and it got to the point where when he got to deep fried Kool-Aid, it was like, all right,
Gross.
I think you've reached your
Yeah.
point where there's nothing else to deep fry.
Yeah.
They put one of those pop-up shops in the La Mesa, Grossmont Park.
There's a
Center for
restaurant
while.
in Claremont,
yeah,
I think.
he's doing
Isn't there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
No thanks.
he's branched out and. He's a great guy.
Oh,
and
I'm
then
sure.
there's the corn guy, with the corn cob that's right in the beginning. And then you've got the concert series.
I will not touch the food there.
Well, look at you. I'm sorry, Mr. Health. You're not Mr. Health conscious.
I don't
You
eat
could
any of that stuff.
You would eat. Oh, I got to tell you about. Speaking of fair food, I was going to tell this story on Thursday, but I'm going to tell just a quick bit of it. I was in Rancho Cucamonga this weekend with Evan, because she's in town visiting grandma.
Mm-hmm.
And we went with my niece and her boyfriend and Evan and I to what's called the Lemon Festival in Ontario, which is like a half hour away.
That sounds more boring than the fair.
No, it's like a street fair, but there was like a big giant Ferris wheel. And there was bands and so all Faith wanted, my niece, was a corn dog. She was really excited to get a corn dog. So we get to the corn dog stand. I order 3 corn dogs and 2 of those.
That'll be $60.
Mexican, like horchata, and there was another.
That'll be $70.
2 drinks and 3 corn dogs. The woman
let
goes.
me guess. What do you think?
Wait, how many corn dogs?
3.
3 corn dogs, regular size. They weren't like jumbo or anything.
I'm gonna say.
And 2 drinks.
Let's say $65-ish.
I'm gonna say.
Actually, 70. I'm just gonna say 70.
I'm gonna say. You're gonna say 70. I'm gonna say 65.
You guys are really close. The woman goes, okay, that'll be $67.
Oh
And I was like,
you were right.
God.
Right
I
in
went,
there.
wait, what did you just say?
I'm guessing $15 a corn dog
Yeah,
and
that's what I was-
$5 per drink.
No,
I was
it
doing 15
opposite.
bucks.
What?
The drinks were $17.
What?
They're in this big like
Oh,
plastic
well, you should have
thing.
mentioned that.
Well, they didn't. There's only one size.
said they were
I did
fancy.
exactly what you did.
Yeah.
I was $15 a corn dog and
No.
then 10 per drink.
The corn dogs
It reminds
were
me of when I went to like Disneyland last time, and we like went to like the little pizza port thing, and it's just like you bet a slice of pizza for $25 and like a side salad for like another 20.
Oh my god!
It was like
that is
$250
insane.
for 5 people to eat lunch. That was like the worst food you've ever had.
I mean, even at the ballpark, if you buy a beer, aren't
Oh,
beers
dude.
like so expensive at Petco? Like how?
Actually, Petco's not that bad.
Really?
You can get like I pounded like 4 or 5 hot dogs there for like it was probably like
I'm talking about
6 or 8
alcohol,
bucks.
like a beer. How much is a beer?
I don't think their
at the
beer is
game?
that bad actually. Now
Really?
they're mixed, they're canned cocktails. Those are like I want to say $13.
Oh
a
my
piece.
god, that's crazy.
yeah, but you only need like 1 or 2 of those and you're set.
Yeah, that's my mom every night. 1 or 2 canned
Oh my
martinis.
god.
Those things are so good. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh. Okay, before our guest comes in, which he'll be here in a minute, we're going to have some dirt. We're going to have a double D report. But I want to tell you about something else, Evan.
Hold on,
Is
I'm
he
going to run
here?
and grab him. Yeah.
Okay, grab him and then, okay. So Evan had many things she wanted to do while she was in town. And the main thing was.
How long is she here for? A week?
No, she was here for a week. She leaves on Wednesday morning. So she really just wanted to go to the beach. We wanted to go to the OB Farmers Market, which we love, then go to the beach and hang out. She wanted to see a couple of her friends, her close friends. She wanted to go to Balboa Park and walk around, and we took the dogs. And so we did that. And we come up, you know how they have like they have like tarot card readers along the pathway, and they have like different.
At Balboa?
Yeah, Balboa. They have like people selling their art and whatnot. So we come up to this tent, and it said portraits for, I think it was like $15, takes 10 minutes. And the pictures that he had displayed all around were really pretty. And he had some really nice paintings for sale as well, little ones and big ones. And so anyway, I said, Evan, look, this is what's going to happen. I go, we're going to get this done. It's going to cost us $30 because it's $15 a person. And we had to each sit down individually. I said, all right, it's either going to turn out so good, it's going to be a keepsake, we're going to frame it, and it's going to be beautiful. Or it's going to be so hideous, it's going to be something that we laugh at for the rest of our lives.
It was the second one.
I have it to
Oh,
show
no.
you.
Oh, great.
And
Okay,
then I'll
so-
I'll tell you what the guy told me I look like.
We actually later we're gonna have a discussion about how you interact with. Never mind.
Okay, wait a minute.
Okay.
I missed a minute because I was getting our guest. But what did you do?
We walked up, we were in Balboa Park.
Uh-huh.
We walked up to a guy that was doing portraits.
Oh,
10-minute portraits, $15 a person, and they looked good, all the ones he had displayed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
Evan
boy.
sits down first, and then it's my turn to sit down, and you put them both on the same page.
Uh-huh.
Are you ready for the result?
Yeah. wanna
Yes,
see
I
it.
can't wait.
And you guys know what Evan looks like. Now, Evan Let me just show you, okay?
Okay.
Just show us, please.
What the hell?
Wow, he was being gracious with you. That's
Look
not what she looked like
at
at all.
that. Look at that. Okay, first of all, Evan, it's very, it resembles her a little bit.
Kind of soulless though.
And then me, look at my big ass eyes. I look like I'm an AI. Like
You
I look
like
that,
you look like Megan.
That's what I thought.
No,
That's what I said.
You know, she looks like Sharon Tate.
Okay.
You look like Megan 2.0 or 2.5.
This man was from Albania, and he was like giving us compliments, and he said that Evan resembled Primavera di Porcini or something really. And so I looked up whatever he said, and it was like this
Spaghetti.
No, it was like an old, like a really beautiful, like from the 1800s, pretty girl. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Then he said, I look like Patti Bao. I was like, who's that? And he was, very famous singer in Italy.
Oh no.
I look up her picture. This chick is at least 75.
Well, she wasn't always 75.
But her picture, she has long straight hair, and then these black like eyeliner. I was like, really?
Wow.
Really? I felt like horrible. I wish I had the picture to show you. It was
That's
hysterical.
God.
God.
That's a
But
pretty
anyway,
rough.
this is pretty funny.
Wow.
That doesn't look like you at all.
Are you
Not at
going to
all.
Are you going to frame that?
I am, because it makes me laugh so hard.
I think you
Are we
should
going to
burn
put it back? Are we going to put it back here?
Oh no, because it's not part of the podcast.
I think
I'll
that
put it in
is.
my room.
I think that's
God.
more cursed than the
Than
the doll?
No, than the Ouija board on the wall or the doll. Yeah.
The doll is somewhere. I don't know where the doll went.
Isn't it in your garage?
Oh my god.
I think so.
I think you'll probably be okay considering it's just a doll.
No, but remember,
Her head's stuck at an upward angle. She can't see anything.
Anyway, I have to show you what my sister got me for my birthday.
What?
Before we get into your Double D report and our guest, Omar. I can't wait to talk to you, Omar.
I know.
Hi,
I
Omar.
cannot.
Okay. When I was in 4th grade, maybe even 3rd grade, the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind came out.
Oh no.
And I was obsessed. I love this movie. I saw it like 3 times in the theater, and I even recorded it on my little tape recorder so I could listen to it when I was going to sleep. I loved it that much.
It's a good movie, but it's not that good.
I loved it. I was obsessed with it.
All right.
So for Christmas, my parents got me a little like alien doll. You know, the aliens that come out at the end? And so my best friend Stacy and I made up a song about the alien, and then eventually I lost it or the head fell off or whatever. Well, my sister, for my birthday, I open it up.
Oh God.
Do, 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 do.
That's awful.
Do, 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 do. She found it on eBay.
That's awful.
Oh
And
my
you know
God.
what's so weird? I remember holding this figurine. It's the same exact one that we had. And I remember it being big because my hands were little.
Honestly,
And now it's really
dude,
little.
It just looks like it's. I don't like
It
it.
means so much to me. You have no idea.
I know, but it
This
looks like
reminds me of my
some dude
childhood.
exposing himself. I can't.
Brian, I have a question for
Look
you.
at it.
How long do you
I
think it's
love
going
it.
to take for her to lose this?
No.
I think once she puts it down after we're done talking
Yeah.
about it, it'll be gone.
I can guarantee by the time both shows are over, you're going to be like, what did I do with that alien?
I had it safely in my room and I brought it down here just to show you guys.
She lost it on the way down.
It has no genitals.
I know.
I don't
see?
like the
It's
fact
not
that it's like
offensive.
flesh colored. It's giving
Yeah.
me
This is
really
what they
bad
look
vibes.
like when they came out of the spaceship.
It just looks like a really weird Ken doll.
I love him so much. I was like, Jenny, thank you so much. You just brought back my childhood. I love this little doll.
See,
so
it looks
much.
like you're hugging a very small naked man. I just
I know it is a small naked man. It is a small naked man, but I love it.
that's something that haunts nightmares.
Brian, this is my childhood. Okay?
That's what Laura
My
does to me
childhood.
when we
you have
spoon.
a terrible childhood.
It was the greatest
That's so
childhood.
disappointing.
What?
That's what you're going to do to me when we spoon when we're old and in bed together.
All right. Whoa.
How am I going to spoon you?
You're gonna hold an old little naked man.
Oh, this is going to be you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll do that. If you
At this point, when I'm like 90, my genitals probably will have fallen off.
Dear Lord.
You know what? We have a guest in the house. I'm not going to
I know,
go
and
down that rabbit
yeah, we've
hole.
already gone into the
guys are the
dumpster.
worst.
All
so-
right, let's do some quick double D.
Yes.
And then we're going to have Omar Watson on.
So
and I
excited.
can't wait to
I
talk to
love
him.
him.
I love him too already. I've read your bio. I love your story. And I have so many questions for you.
Just
Oh my
wait, he is amazing.
God. I can't.
You'll see why I love him.
All right.
So Justin Baldoni lost big in the legal war with the Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds
How
saga.
so?
All claims have been dismissed on his end.
Oh.
Blake's claims against Justin are still intact.
I was vindicated. I told you. I suspected that this guy was wrong and she was right.
So do you know the reason?
No, I have no clue.
So it's because she filed first, and then he filed.
I thought he did, but I guess
No,
not.
she filed first.
Okay.
So they're saying that his could be based on retaliation and stuff like that. So all the claims
Wait,
on his
does
end.
that just mean he needs to refile in a separate suit?
I don't know. They didn't say.
So if it's just dismissed, that doesn't mean much. But if it's like with prejudice, now that's
Yeah, no, that's
something.
not. And it didn't say if he was going to file again. They at this point, it just
let it
came
go,
out.
dude.
Nobody on his end would comment yet.
Just let this thing go.
I don't know. Now, to be fair, if she is in the wrong, she has ruined his career.
Yeah.
Wow.
So his company, Wayfair Productions, I think has folded.
Ooh.
Or a division of
They
it
were
has.
they were doing some scummy legal tactics in the beginning too. They were doing some like guerrilla, like they were planting. I understand they were planting some like fake hater. I don't remember, but it was bad.
Evan, come here real quick.
Sad news, Sly Stone is dead at 82. He had chronic pulmonary disease as well as some other health problems.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Here's my girl right here. She's leaving.
Hi,
to go-
Evan.
She's leaving. Oh, hold on. Let me turn on your mic. She's going to a friend's house tonight. And then tomorrow.
Make good choices.
I will.
Okay, good.
I'm going to order food, so that's the only choice I'll be making.
Oh,
Okay,
wait,
good.
wait. Okay. Elvis doesn't hump.
Is he
He's
humping him?
Our guest.
Oh, God.
Okay,
oh,
Evan,
no.
Just say
my
hi to
goodness.
everybody. And
He
then
only
please
humps
help.
me, but now look
Okay.
at
We shouldn't have dogs in the studio.
No, I know.
it's my fault.
Okay,
Elvis,
let me
stop
finish.
humping
I'll
him.
finish the story, and you.
Someone grab him
Elvis,
from over
Yeah,
there.
this is not okay.
Elvis.
Elvis, what the hell? You're down here for a reason because I thought you could be a good dog, and you're not a good dog. I'll continue with the double D. I showed them our picture, by the way, and it was really funny.
Oh my gosh, our picture.
Our picture was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
Okay, so Jared Leto has been accused by 9 women of sexual misconduct in a report that was published Friday by Airmail.
I'm kind of shocked this hasn't happened sooner.
Well,
I don't know anything about him, but he just kind of it doesn't shock me. I guess
He-
he gives me the Russell Brand vibe.
when I met him at the Oscars, he was one of the nicest celebrities ever. Like,
Oh my god!
really,
I can't,
truly.
I don't believe the claims anymore.
Anyway, I didn't get that vibe. I didn't get that vibe. Anyway, his representative says that all allegations are denied. He's expressly denied them. They date back to 2006 and include assaulting a 17-year-old, walking naked in front of different 17-year-olds.
Gross.
And engaging in sexually explicit conversations with a 16-year-old.
Ew.
Those sound.
Another woman said she was 18. He pleasured himself in front of her and
No!
grabbed her.
He needs to be locked.
No, I don't believe this. I don't believe it. I don't want to believe it. Anyway, so now that's that.
They're dirty.
And this is weird. Would you be weirded out if you saw this?
Would you be weirded out by an adult man watching Lilo and Stitch in a theater by himself?
No.
A woman complained that she saw an adult man in a theater by himself watching Lilo and Stitch, but most people seem to think she's being unreasonable and there's
Yes.
nothing abnormal about it. Yes, she's being a bitch.
Yeah, it's a movie.
It's a movie. Who cares?
Movie.
No.
Why-
It's Lilo and Stitch.
a
If he was wearing a raincoat, probably.
You guys are the worst.
It's just a little odd. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's not. Okay, if it was like, My Little Pony, Friendship is a Miracle Rainbow.
Friendship
sure.
is magic.
Okay, Brony. Anyways, yeah, maybe then, but it's Lilo and Stitch. It's a classic.
Lilo and
Classic.
Stitch is a classic.
It is a classic.
Wait, now
I did
you need to
not
be more
enjoy
positive.
that. Not at all did I enjoy
What?
that Lilo
Oh, so
and
I'm
Stitch.
too negative.
You
because
didn't? Did you
are
watch it?
hating on Lilo and Stitch.
I did watch it when the first one came out, and I was like,
Nothing wrong
This
with a
is
guy
yucky.
going and seeing it.
I don't like that the characters. Anyway,
Okay, great.
Evan, did you get your Uber?
Not yet, but
Okay.
I'm about to.
All right.
She doesn't want to leave this.
Well, you need to vacate this
gem.
because we have another guest coming up.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Okay.
What?
I saw over the weekend Ballerina, the new John Wick.
Is it out?
Yes, it came out on Friday.
Is it John Wick?
No,
Ballerina?
No, it's just called Ballerina.
It's from the world of John Wick.
Oh,
yes, Ana de Armas is the star in it, and she was fantastic. It is awesome.
Is
what I
there a
heard.
boy in it? Is Keanu
Yes,
in
he
it?
is.
Yes, he does. He makes a cameo.
Does he? I bet he looks great.
He looks great. The whole movie was
I don't
fantastic.
think he'll ever die.
Yeah.
He ages perfectly, that man. He just gets more.
He's hit a second
Attractive.
stride.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. For
Yes.
sure. Okay, are you done with your double D?
I am.
All right, Evan, have a great time at
Thank
Lindsay's.
you.
And then,
Bye,
what time are you
Ev.
going to be home tomorrow?
Afternoon.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, bye.
We have a big dinner planned. We're going to this really cool new restaurant called Communion.
Oh, yes, I've been there.
We're stoked. You've been there?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to get all dressed up and fancy. Okay, bye, baby. I love you.
Bye.
Okay.
Do you have are you using a credit card?
We already know what we're in for.
Okay.
We're planning on a couple hundy.
They've been saving
It is
for years.
not cheap. Yeah.
We have been. We actually have put funds aside because we know it's going to be a lot. And we're okay with that.
Okay.
All right. Play some music and we're going to bring up Omar Watson.
I am so excited. He is a gem and a jewel.
Strong and pretty. Strong and pretty.
Thank you. Oh my God, I love it.
God, Elvis loves you for some reason.
He does.
I'm sorry. Elvis loves chocolate.
Oh my God.
He does. You can put headphones on if you want or not. Doesn't matter.
Will I hear my own voice?
Yes, you will hear. You don't like to hear your
I hate my
voice?
voice, yeah.
What?
I don't even have it on my answer machine on my phone.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
It's just the number, yeah.
Your voice is a very
I
sultry.
know, it's super sexy.
You could be on the radio. What are you talking
That's what
about?
my husband says.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so a little bit of a background on Omar Watson. I was reading your bio and I was like floored at the things that you have accomplished. You are the first openly gay CHP
Chief,
commander,
yes.
border division.
Border Division Commander for the California Highway Patrol.
Okay, now,
Openly gay male chief.
and this is important because this is Pride Month.
Yes.
And when you first entered the academy, you were 22 in 1994, and I'm assuming that was not an easy time to come out.
100%.
So, what was it? Talk to us about what it was like in the beginning when you first, like, why did you want to become a CHP officer? Why did that call to you?
No, I was 5 years old. I told my mom I want to be highway patrolman. I want to be a Texas Ranger initially, but we moved to California, so I said I want to work for the California Highway Patrol. And really, I just wanted to be in the job of service. My dad was in the military. It's something that I always wanted to do, and so at 22, I joined the patrol, and it wasn't an easy path initially because there were no gay, mentors or role models in the highway patrol for me to look towards. So my mom continually instilled in me, you can do whatever you want to do, be who you are, don't hide who you are, just be out. So
Did you get grief?
I did
Were
get
you
grief
bullied?
in the beginning. I was never a bully, but I did have a lot of people that had certain expectations for what they thought a gay man would look like or how he would act. And so there were a lot of stereotypes that I didn't fit into. So they thought, well, maybe this is something different. So it really kind of opened people's eyes to the fact that there's a huge array of gay men and women, and we're not all pigeonholed into one specific type. So
In 1994, though, that wasn't like really.
it was not. It was
People
not.
weren't really doing that.
Yeah, it was not easy. My roommate at the time, at the academy, you have one roommate. I had a picture of me and my boyfriend on my desk. He ran and told everyone that I have a picture of me
Oh my
with another
God.
guy. And if someone asked me, I would tell them I was gay. I wasn't wearing a pride flag because we couldn't wear anything like that on our uniforms. But the fact that he felt it was so important to go and tell everybody that there's a picture of me with a man on my desk was really damaging initially, but in the end, people said, "Well, Omar shoots a gun like everyone else.
Yeah.
He wrestled, he boxed, he drives a car
I
fast."
wouldn't mess with this guy. I would not
Hell
mess
no.
with you at all.
So in the end, it really backfired on him because it showed people that gay men are capable just like straight men are.
Yeah.
So.
Did this help other men come out because of you? Were there other cadets or people in the academy that said, you know what?
No, there was a few other cadets that decided, you know what, if he's going to be out, I'll be out. So when we went to the graduation party, we all brought our spouses with us, which was fantastic, or our significant others. And then graduating and going to the field, now being openly gay and in a position as an officer, but then moving through the ranks to chief, I went back to the academy. I taught there as a sergeant, as a lieutenant, and I was in charge of the academy as an assistant chief. So a lot of people knew my story and knew who I was. So they would come to me and say, I'm out and I'm bringing my wife to the party, or I'm bringing my husband or boyfriend to the cadet party, and I'm going to live my true, authentic life because you've been able to do it in the past. So now that gives me the opportunity to know that I can be successful in my career also.
Yeah.
So it definitely did open some doors for other people.
Do you continue to be a mentor to people? Do they continue to come to you and say, like, people that want to be in the service, police officers, CHP, sheriff, like,
Yeah,
hey,
100%. Anyone that's either in law enforcement now, a lot of my cadets that are now sergeants and lieutenants that are moving through the ranks, they're all openly gay. And they bring their spouses to their different events for work and for social things. It's nice for them to be able to live their authentic lives and say, yes, I'm a lieutenant with the Highway Patrol, and this is my husband or this is my wife, and not have any shame or guilt behind who they are.
So your courage came from your mom?
Came from my mother, 100%. Because I grew up in Texas. I was born in Louisiana, raised in Texas, and my mom knew before I knew what gay was.
Did she know that you were gay before you knew?
She knew that I was gay, and my dad was in the military, and she said, I want you to put your transfer into California because I don't want him growing up in racist, homophobic Texas.
Wow.
So my dad put his transfer into California. We came to California, and it's because of that I was able to really join an organization that, though it didn't really tout hiring a lot of diversity back in the 90s, at least it was a very professional organization. And as we've gone through the years, I feel the Highway Patrol is the most professional and progressive law enforcement agency in the world. And we have a lot of gay and lesbian, transgender folks that work for the organization that are doing very well. And the Highway Patrol is very good at embracing these differences in people and encouraging them to come to the organization.
That's incredible because I would have not thought that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you just wouldn't think that the CHP would be that progressive.
Yeah. It's
well, thanks to you, probably.
Yeah, that's
in a big way.
amazing.
I mean, to me and other people that are also gay and lesbian that came before me that lived their lives, maybe not as openly as I did, but people knew about them and really gave people the opportunity to understand that we work in so many capacities in this organization. But, we had a lot of work to do since the 90s to get to a point where we could say, hey, we have people in this organization and we go into, say, Pride here in San Diego. And 2019 is when I promoted to chief and came to San Diego. And I marched in Pride with a lot of my officers and their families and their significant others. And it was great to see all the support from people that I had never met coming in as the new chief, and they were showing their support for not only me, but all our other rank and file. Yeah. So it was a good place to be in.
So I was reading your bio, and it's a big deal to be, the first level is to get to a motorcycle. To get on your cycle.
Yeah, so not everyone rides a motorcycle. Yeah. So if you want to be a motor officer, you have to go back to motorcycle school. You have to go to school, and it's a 2-week course. It's about a 60% attrition rate. So there's only a couple of hundred motorcycle officers in the whole state. So to have the opportunity to get on a motorcycle and patrol for the Highway Patrol is a big deal. Everyone saw Chips, Ponch and John, all that stuff.
Yeah. Of course.
So that's what I wanted to do. And I learned how to ride a motorcycle from my mother. She taught me how to ride a motorcycle.
No.
Your mom is a
my
badass.
mom was like a lesbian, but not a lesbian. Everyone thought they would call the house and they says, who's the drag queen that answered the phone? One, literally. And I said, that was my mom. They're like, oh sorry.
My God.
We had trans people in our family. We had, gays in our family. We have just a huge, melting pot of people, not only my real family, but in my extended family. Mm-hmm. So my mom taught me how to ride a motorcycle. It wasn't a stick shift, but she taught me how to ride just a regular bike.
That is so cool.
And then I went on later to become a motorcycle officer. And it was really one of the highlights of my career because only a few are chosen to be able to do that. And the course is extremely hard to get through. A lot of people go several times before they actually make it through the school. And I went the first time, graduated, and got my boots. And we're real proud of the high thigh boots.
Don't you have to put on a bunch of stuff just to keep you safe, right? So you don't have skid marks when you have you ever been in an accident?
I have been, yeah. In 1999, I was coming home from an overtime detail in Oakland at the Coliseum, going back home to San Jose, and a guy lane changed me, hit my motorcycle, and sent me sliding 65 miles an hour down the freeway.
Oh my God!
Luckily, I was off for 3 or 4 months and went back to the job. But that's one of the perils of riding on a bike. You're not enclosed in a car. You don't have as much security and safety as you would in a patrol vehicle. But to say that you can ride around on a motorcycle all day and give out tickets and help people clear accidents, get in pursuits, all those different things, that's something that people thought a gay man wouldn't do. So I got on a bike, and then another guy, a gay guy, Dave Barnett. Dave, I love you.
What up, Dave?
He got on a bike, and people were like, oh, my God, the 2 openly gay officers in San Jose in the 90s were motorcycle officers.
That is a TV show right
That was
there.
seriously unheard of. It should have been.
I know,
It should've been
seriously.
like the new chips.
So is that one of the reasons that the motorcycle training is so difficult? Is because you have to go to certain speeds or
Yes.
really know how to navigate
Your
the bike?
exposure is significant compared to being in a car. And when the Highway Patrol was first formed in 1929, everyone was on a bike. And there was a lot of fatalities because basically you were told if you're going to be in the Highway Patrol, you have to ride. So they revamped the program many, many years ago and made it a elective. So if you want to be a motorcycle officer, then you would apply, get approved to go to the school, and then have to go through the rigorous course.
Well, not only that, but you've received many awards, and one of them was for saving somebody's life. Talk about that. Maybe you've saved a couple lives. Maybe you've saved many lives.
No, you save lives not only by giving out tickets for seatbelts to make sure people are seatbelted in, but that particular case, I think the guy's name was Dan Fouts, and he was in an accident, pulled in front of a bus.
Dan Fouts?
Dan Fouts, not famous Dan Fouts.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
whoa.
But this guy pulled in front of a bus, and his car was significantly damaged. So now, when I got onto the scene, he had cerebral spinal fluid coming out of his ear. So I noticed this fluid, which means that there's a serious neck injury. It could be a serious neck injury. So I held C-spine on him, pulled him out of the car, held C-spine on him for 15 or 20 minutes until the ambulance got there. So I'd have someone keep my microphone for me just so I could keep his neck stationary. And the interesting thing is the bone that was broken in his neck is the same bone that was broken in Christopher Reeve's neck. But Christopher Reeves was paralyzed because someone moved him, and it hurt his spinal cord. So
oh my God.
if he had not been properly tended to, then it would have been the same outcome for him.
Oh my God.
Are you taught that? Is that,
So, yeah,
or did you,
yeah.
or just intuitively knew to do that?
Well, we're taught, we're EMTs when you graduate from the academy, but specifically observing that there's spinal fluid coming out of his ear was indication that it could be a possible spinal injury.
So you just have to hold the head
whole
as
C-spine.
still
That way
as
it's not any
possible.
movement, yeah.
And with Christopher Reeve, somebody just
Someone moved him, and that's what
it was
caused
just like
so.
that
Oh,
little
my God.
fraction.
And because of that, not only what I did, but obviously the aftercare they received at the emergency room, fully recovered. He had to wear a halo for several months, but he fully recovered. And so it's nice to know that you can go out to this community and help people out based on the training you get at the Highway Patrol Academy.
Yeah.
So
And then the border. Talk about some things you've seen patrolling that area, because you were at the border division. So like what kind of things have you seen like come through, or do you have any like stories that would like blow our hair back?
Well, we work really closely with the Mexican officials here in San Diego. We actually have a Mexican liaison unit that goes into Mexico because we have cases that either filter into Mexico or vice versa. So I'm the only chief, or the chief for this division is the only chief that actually gets to go to another country to facilitate meetings with officials in Mexico. And so it was a great opportunity to be able to cross the border to another country, be surrounded by not only their law enforcement, but by my law enforcement, and really be able to partner together to try to make the border safe. Back when I came to the division, it was when all the migrants were trying to cross the border. So it's really working collectively with Border Patrol and the Mexican officials to just make sure that people crossing into both countries were safe. Lots of different cases that we see, a lot of drug trafficking, a lot of human trafficking, but you have a lot of people that are coming across the border trying to find a better life. So we're a sanctuary state. So we make sure that everyone understands that if someone's across the border here, it's hands off, and we accept them and make sure that they're safe just like anybody else.
Yeah. A friend of mine works in an area down near International City, and a friend of his parked their car, had a truck, and one of the coworkers said, "Hey, I saw like two guys jump out of the back of your truck because it had like a cover on it." Apparently, and he came from Tijuana, and he works over here. Apparently, unbeknownst to him, he was trafficking people. And he didn't even know it until somebody pointed out. I just saw two people pop out the back of your truck in the parking lot.
People will find
It's
very
crazy.
inventive ways to cross the border, not only by hiding in people's vehicles, hiding under cars, undercarriages of vehicles and big rigs, lots of different ways, placing bodies inside of like the dashboard or hidden compartments in vehicles.
Oh
to
my
try to
gosh.
get across the border. People go to great lengths to try to come to the USA because it's right now we're struggling with that.
Yeah, I know.
But there's people do a lot of things to come across the border to be in somewhere where they can be safe and make a hopefully make a living wage.
Speaking of what's going on now, you worked in the riots. You worked in some riot capacity. I mean, talk to us about what it's like right now for these people. Like, what is it like to like try to stop a riot from happening?
It's really tense because you have so many competing factors. Because since we're a sanctuary state, we are really just trying to keep people safe. So the role of the people that are being sent in by the president is completely contradicts what we do as an organization. So we are really just there to just try to facilitate people being safe.
Yeah.
So even though we're all law enforcement and we're working hand in hand, our agendas are very different. So it's a difficult position to be in. I was here during the George Floyd protest when they took over the freeways in 2020.
I remember that.
And being a black officer, I was labeled a traitor or not being on the right side of law enforcement, when the reality is I went into law enforcement to systemically change things from the inside. Because you can't make changes from the outside. And you can incrementally make changes with the people that you work with, and they can say the same things, and really that kind of compounds out and helps people understand a different perspective. So, people got onto the freeway, and I stood there and I talked with some of these protesters when they took over the freeway. I was the first on the scene at one of the freeways right near the Coronado Bridge, and thousands of people were on the freeway. It's just me by myself. And I just say, hey, I am doing this job to make things better. And the way that you're going about this is not necessarily the right way to do this. So by talking to them, we were able to kind of calm them down, their group leader, calm them down. But also while I was talking to them, I was staging vehicles to block the Coronado Bridge. So they wouldn't storm the Coronado Bridge. There was a method to the madness, but, it's an interesting position to be in when you're on the front lines and you're black, because you see a lot of black officers being taunted by black citizens that don't understand why they're doing that job. And the reality is that we all do the same thing, but you get mislabeled sometimes because of the job.
Over your years, has that gotten better? Is it still kind of like
I think it has gotten better, but in the black community, there's a huge distrust of law enforcement because of things that have obviously happened in the past. And I think that my mom taught me, if a police officer pulls you over, just do what they say. Don't talk back. Just comply. And I think that you have a lot of historical influence from kids' parents and grandparents and great parents that still distrust law enforcement. So they feed that into their children. And I've had people say, oh, if you don't eat your vegetables, I'm at a restaurant. If you don't eat your vegetables, I'm going to tell Officer Watson to take you to jail. I say, don't tell him that, because now this child has a true distrust of police officers, fear of police officers for something that's not real. And it seems silly. They think they're joking, but the reality is that sits with a child when they're young because they're so impressionable. So really talking to them about what our role is, to me, is very important. So that's why I advocated for working at the academy, not only as a sergeant, but as a lieutenant, because what you teach those cadets at the academy, their foundation, they will carry with them for the rest of their careers. So interacting with a gay employee like me, knowing that there's a lot of cultural differences that you're going to encounter when you're on this job, is important for them to understand that they've got to be understanding and wear a dozen different hats, being empathetic and understanding, and really just being human and not a robot, which a lot of guys come into this thing with a power trip and they just want to exert power over people.
On that note, how does one talk their way out of, say, a speeding ticket? I mean, what's the best way? Like, just to admit it?
Well, well, that is actually right. To admit it, if you say, officer, I realize I was speeding. I'm sorry, I'm in a hurry. Oftentimes, you'll get out of that ticket.
Have you ever gotten, I'm on my period? Or
I've gotten on my period. I have explosive diarrhea. like all these different things.
Did you pull me over one time?
Things you would think someone would never say, and then they'll.
Does that work? Did you?
Oh no! Because I'm like, you passed 3 exits for a gas station, so no, you don't have explosive diarrhea. But you know what? If people just are just human and treat us with respect, you get respect back. Because there's many people that have talked themselves into a ticket because they're being demeaning to me, like I just fell into this job, and I'm just like, come on. My car won't go over 60 miles an hour. You have a brand new Mercedes.
Bitch, please. I mean,
Exactly.
come on.
I'd be writing tickets so fast.
I'll tell you that, so many of my straight friends let these beautiful girls go. So I let the cute guys go.
I got pulled over off the Coronado Bridge one time, and I'm a traffic reporter, so I know all the CHP codes.
Oh, yeah.
1125, 1144, 1182, 1183, 1179,
good for you.
1141.
That is good. That's
What's
actually
up?
really
What's
good.
up? Anyway, so we always look at the CAD. I mean, the CHP, I work with every time I do my traffic, so I feel very close to
She's
them.
kind of a big deal.
I'm kind of a
Ginger Chan in LA.
Yes, I
Ginger
do.
Chan
She
is one of
works for
my
company.
dear friends.
She's awesome.
She calls me LL Cool J. Yeah, she's one of my dearest friends. Whenever she needed information, she would call me. Whatever, I'm like, I got you, Ginger. I would always hook her up because she always took care of the highway patrol when we needed something on the news. So in turn, I would always help her out as much as I could.
Oh my God,
wish-
that's so funny.
Okay, we're going to talk about this in a second. I wish you weren't retired so I could use you.
Oh, I can still.
Okay.
Call me. Here's my number.
I'm going to. Because now I work in the newsroom and I could use you as a source.
I got you.
But retiring at age 50, that is like a dream of all human beings.
It's unheard of. And I'm on the old retirement system, so I won't go into the numbers, but because I came on so young, the max you can get is 30 years. You have to retire at 60, but by the time I was 50 years old, I already had almost 28 years on. So it made no sense to work 2 more years for 6%. So I just decided I was going to retire. Plus, I had moved through the ranks. It's officer, sergeant, lieutenant, captain, assistant chief, chief. I was the highest you could be in the field. I was on the list for assistant commissioner, but I just thought, I don't want to move again to Sacramento because I moved there 4 times. So I turned 50. 2 weeks later, I retired. And I was on the beach in Mexico with my husband and my friends celebrating my retirement.
God.
My 50th birthday. So
That is okay. I got to ask you something because I know 2 people recently who have retired, and they are kind of lost. Like, was it hard to, after the celebration, after the beach and with your husband, and after all the fun, did you kind of have to go, okay, now what am I gonna do?
you know what? For me, the biggest thing was decompression because this job is so stressful. And being the division chief, you're never not working. You can be anywhere, anytime, get called into the office. So really, it was not having 2 phones. I always had 2 phones with me since 2006. I've had 2 phones.
Oh,
So to not have 2 phones was a big deal. To be able to leave my phone at home and go to the store, grocery store, it's a weird feeling because if I left my phone at home and I was working, I would freak out because in a span of 10 minutes, a plane could crash on the freeway, a bunch of people get killed. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
So really for me, it was the decompression aspect of it. But I really kept my personal life separate from my professional life. It's very important because alcoholism, abuse, all these different things that run rampant, suicide in law enforcement, is because they meld their personal life together with their professional life. And you look at everything through a lens that everything,
It's like their
everyone is 100%. And my identity was not Officer Watson. That was my career. I loved it. But when I was off duty, no one knew that I had pierced ears, I had a tongue ring while I was a police officer. And so people would see me, would never, ever think that I was a police officer. And I liked that because I wasn't someone that just fed into, okay, once I became a cop, I can't have hobbies. I can't hang out with my friends. I can't do things that I did before I became a police officer. And those are the guys that got themselves into trouble.
That's an important lesson, especially for men, because I think men tend to identify themselves with their jobs.
Yes.
And so then when they do retire, they are lost. So that's like
100%.
really a good thing to say to another man.
A lot of officers die within the first few years of retiring just because that's all they know.
Right.
And for me, when I wasn't working, I was traveling around, hanging out with my friends, all of my friends were gay cops, but we weren't talking about cop stuff when we were
Right.
off duty. We're talking about cute guys and
What
traveling.
else do you have pierced?
And do like, one other thing.
You have a Prince Albert?
Not a Prince Albert, it's just on the side.
Oh, wow, I love this.
She's like, woo! Yeah.
I knew it. You know what? I sensed it.
Yeah, the thing is, I just think that being
Yourself.
yourself is so important, and we lose our identity when we become police officers. You can spot a couple mile away. Fanny pack, white t-shirt, blue jeans.
Really? For retired cop.
Yeah. even active duty. I
yeah?
just think it's so important that you just identify with what you love to do. I make candles and I make cakes. That's my hobby, and I've made candles for years.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been a nice little gift to bring.
I'll have
We
to
do
bring
love
some.
our candles.
Oh, I will bring some.
Do you make
Oh,
them all
his
different,
are
like,
fantastic.
beautiful
Different
smell?
scents, different containers, and then I make custom cakes for people. I just made a birthday cake last night.
Okay, you are like a Renaissance man.
That's what my mom used to call me.
Oh, really?
Yep.
What do you, work
Didn't a family member teach you how to make candles?
No, I took a class in Lake Tahoe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was
took
way
some random
off.
class, and I loved it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love this.
So this is Pride Month. We have all the Pride activities happening in July.
Mm-hmm.
What can you say to somebody, maybe a young man or woman, who really does want to get into law enforcement and is maybe afraid of that?
I think
their
that
identity?
if you are going to want to join law enforcement, you may meet some challenges, but it's a fantastic career, and there's a lot of resources and a lot more gay family in law enforcement than you think. And it's an opportunity for you to really protect your city or protect your state, and have other people that come up behind you look at you and say, that person is doing it as an openly gay man or woman, so I can do the same thing. So really it's about mentoring someone that's coming in behind you, maybe not even knowing that person, but they can see you and say, hey, I want to do that job. So I think you should apply. It's definitely a great career.
Is that like on the form? Like, did you have to check off like that you're...
No, but see,
I mean, do you write that in there? I mean,
you don't, but when they do your background investigation, they find out everything.
Yeah.
So when they did my background, they said, they kept asking me questions about women, like my girlfriends. And I'm like, I don't have a girlfriend, haven't had a girlfriend. And then when you get to the psychologist said, do you have a girlfriend? I said, no. And he said, are you gay? And I said, yes. And I was 22. I was a little frustrated, like, why does it matter?
Yeah.
And he goes, do you have a problem with me knowing that you're gay? And I said, do you have a problem with me being gay? He goes, well, I'm not saying that. I said, then I don't really know why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
So that was my approach to it, because I just didn't understand why it had to be a topic of discussion, because it is a very small facet of who I am. Just like it's a small facet of who someone is when they're straight. No one says, are you straight? And then they ask all these questions.
Right.
They just, it should be to me, it should be a non-issue.
For sure.
So moving into law enforcement and then working in this field, which is predominantly straight white males, and you have this black guy whose husband's white, all these different things. There are all these challenges that you meet because they would refer to my husband as my roommate or my flatmate, and I got called to the sergeant's office one time because my boyfriend at the time got in an accident, punctured his lung. So I called him on the phone at work and just wanted to check and make sure he was okay. And they said, hey, did you make this long distance call? And I'm like, yeah, my boyfriend was in a car accident. And the sergeant goes, his roommate. And I said, no, my boyfriend.
see he
My
was uncomfortable,
boyfriend
huh?
was in an accident, and I want to make sure he's okay. So I thought the right thing to do was to call him rather than leave my assigned beat and go home. So I left my beat covered. I went to the office and made a phone call. Is there an issue with that, Lieutenant? And he says, oh, no, not at all. And I turned to the sergeant and said, don't you ever minimize my relationship with my boyfriend. Because
Exactly.
I would never tell you to call your wife, your friend, or your housemate, because that's not who they are.
That's amazing.
And so that got out. People were like, oh, he stood up for himself. So
Yeah.
other people were like, no, this guy's 22 years old and standing up for, and I wasn't being rebellious. I was just like, it was just common decency.
Right, exactly.
To not correct me in how I'm referring to someone that is my loved one.
And it's such a good point.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we've all had situations like that. I remember years ago, I had a coworker just come up to me and he's like, hey, are you gay? And I said, does it matter? And he goes, well, no. And I'm like, then why are you asking? He goes, because I just want to know. And I said, are you going to think differently of me if I say yes? And he goes, no. And I'm like, then we're done with this conversation.
Yeah.
I'm not answering you
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I don't care and you shouldn't either.
Well,
So.
What is this all about?
Oh,
Talk
so
to us about
my
these.
friend who
actually
Katie and Joe from Park 12.
Oh yeah.
So our friends who I met, Katie and Joe, we lived in Park 12. You know, they have 3 kids now.
Yes.
So with their first kid, their mom made these shirts for the bachelor party. They're having the hair.
Oh my gosh.
Strong and pretty. So all the guys are wearing these, and so I've worn it everywhere, all over the world. This is a new one, and people are just like, "Where did you get that shirt?" I mean, Mexico, Greece, France. Everyone's like, "Where?" And I'm like, "Oh, this lady makes them at this place, and it's Strong and Pretty Incorporated is what I call it." But I had her make me another one because we just went to France and Ibiza and Mallorca and all that stuff.
Oh, darling.
Oh, just a little-
I'm retired.
retirement
And me and
story.
the hubby went to Ibiza. How cool is that?
So I wore this in the club there, and people are like, "Where did you get that from?" I'm like, I
Okay.
told her, "You need to trademark this because
Oh yeah.
Start making
are
money.
obsessed with these shirts. It's
Make
crazy.
shirts, make sweatshirts, make
and the
pillows.
little hoodies.
That is
you know?
so cool.
I should call it strong and because people thought it said strong and petty at first. I'm like sometimes, but not today. So,
And their kids are so cute.
so cute. And
Oh my
Joe,
god.
I mean, their parents are adorable. But
Yeah.
the husband Joe.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
What is
beautiful.
next for Omar? What's
What's
the
next?
next? Like, what's the next fun thing you're looking forward to?
So I bought a house here in San Diego. I converted the downstairs to an Airbnb. You guys have to come check it out. Actually, you should do a podcast
What?
from there.
What
From the
area?
backyard. It's in Encanto.
That
Right,
is
right on the border of Lemon Grove.
Amazing
So you can do
that you
outdoor
bought a
podcasts.
home in San Diego in this climate.
Very, very lucky. I bought it 3 years ago, and then it's a 2-story house, but the downstairs, I'm like, I could Airbnb this. So I converted the downstairs to an Airbnb, and so I rent that out, then I just live upstairs.
Why don't you rent it out like full time, like to?
Because then, if I want to use the space, it's occupied,
Mm-hmm.
and if I don't want to rent it there, I can't kick them out. So
Yeah.
I'd rather just open it when
Smart.
I open and close it.
I'm always looking for opportunities just in case.
It's a big. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house. Downstairs is 2 bedrooms, 1 bath.
Wow.
So converted the front bedroom into the living room with a sliding door, ensuite bathroom. There's a hot tub, fire pit, pinball table.
Oh my god.
It's really cool. So I'm just.
I'll see you on Friday.
Come on over.
You've got it
I've been trying to get over to come
down.
sit in that hot tub. Yeah.
Yes.
There's not one thing wrong with you.
You know, I just.
You've been on the path, the straight, perfect path your whole life. It seems
My
like.
mom kept me there. My mom was like.
Is your mom still with
My
us?
mom's passed. She passed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Here's an interesting thing. She was there the day I graduated. When I got my letter from the academy when I graduated, I came home. I was living with her. She's holding this letter from the High Patrol, tears in her eyes. Opened it, I got to the academy. She was there when I graduated. She was there at all my promotional luncheons. And then I retired in December of 21. January of 22 was my retirement luncheon. She was there. And they honor her saying that it's because of you that he made it so far, which I 100% agree. And then her birthday was the next month. She died a month later. So she got to see my whole career, be at my retirement. And then about a month later, she passed
And
away.
I met a lot of members of your family at your place. Was it your birthday?
It's actually when. Were you there when I had my open heart surgery?
Yes.
So it was my
okay.
open heart surgery.
Oh, okay. Because I remember
They all
meeting a
came,
lot.
my mom came to stay with me for like a month.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yes. She was lovely.
Yeah, she's a
I
sweet
remember. Yes, because I was like, I feel like I've met her, and I did. I had a beautiful
Yeah,
conversation with
she
her.
came, and then
yeah.
after she left, my twin sister came for about a week, and then she left. I have a twin, and she's a lesbian.
Oh my!
Yeah.
I
I
love
told
this.
someone, I said, they go, "Oh, your twin's gay also?" Or, yeah. I go, when we were in the womb, the temperature was off. And she's like, "Is that how it works?" I'm like, no. She literally thought I was serious. I was like, "Girl, read a book." But no.
Well, oh my gosh, Omar, it's such a pleasure. I just hope that we continue to know each other.
Oh, I love that. And all of you come to the Airbnb. You like hot tubs?
Love it.
Yes.
Please, this is
please.
the official invite. It's what? Hey? Yeah,
To do
you
the
guys are
podcast.
coming.
Hell yeah.
Can you do the podcast anywhere? Is it
Yeah,
easy?
we can bring all this crap with us. Are you kidding me?
This is an official podcast destination for you guys.
Yes.
Love it.
We set up in the background. There's a cute little view.
I'm sure you have it decorated like.
You should have seen his place downtown.
Okay, you lived
Oh
in
my
Park
God.
12?
I lived in Park.
Okay.
That's my first apartment.
That
That's where I
place
met
is
him.
insanely
I got
amazing.
lost just like driving around, and I ended up seeing for rent. I pulled in and got an apartment.
Were you
We were instant friends.
Yes.
I bet.
Instant.
I bet.
Like I was like, I love
I was
you.
like, we're gonna hang out.
Well, before we log off, do you have anything that you want to say to anybody who during this Pride Month, going into the Pride Festival coming in July? And
First of all, thank you for having me here. I really
course.
appreciate it. It's an honor to be here and sit with you.
Pleasure.
But I think just Pride Month means more than just, we talk about for gays, but really I just look at it as diversity and embracing other people and being kind to one another. It's really, really difficult to find that sometimes. And I think that this is the opportunity for people to look beyond differences and just embrace each other and love each other. That's what I say.
Booyah.
Drop the mic. I loved it. It was a pleasure, Omar. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Good seeing you.
Thank you guys so much for watching on Instagram and on YouTube and listening later on. And hope you enjoyed as much as we did and love your podcast. Oh, wait. We say something at the end of our show and you have to say it. I say it, then you say it, then Eric says it. Ready?
Sometimes.
You're going to tonight. Love your podcast.
Love your podcast.
Love your podcast.
I love you, my sweet babies. Bye. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Yay.